Welcome to the online training on the risks associated with hot materials. The purpose of this training is to communicate the minimum health and safety requirements of the Lafarge-Holcim Group for managing the risks associated with hot materials. Hot material is hot meal that flows from the top of the tower down to the cooler outlet. The temperature of this material can reach levels close to 1,400 degrees. In this circuit, gases can also escape at any time through joints, openings, or inspection doors. Therefore, access is regulated in the hot zone, that is, around the preheater tower and the cooler. We will now present to you an accident related to hot materials that occurred within the group. In June 2012, in Oran, Algeria, Cyclone 3 was blocked by a tube. No pressure indication is available at the cone, and the feed cutoff time is abnormally long. This accident resulted in 8 injuries. Risks related to hot material and gas. Being exposed directly or indirectly to hot material or gas is extremely dangerous. Numerous risks can arise in these areas. The risk of asphyxiation during emissions of toxic dust or with very high temperatures. The risk of being buried by material, which can cause suffocation. The risk of multiple injuries such as impacts, pinching, or crushing. The risk of burns when the material comes into contact with the skin, during pressure changes, or in the event of hot gas leaks. Finally, the risk of falling from a height, in case of panic, from upper floors or staircases. Even the most experienced employees are not spared from the risk of accidents caused by hot material, such as during the clearing of cyclones, in a factory in the United States, where an experienced worker was burned on the neck. The area where there is a risk of projection of hot material or gas is fenced off and locked. Access to this area requires special authorization. Request authorization from the control room. Before entering the hot zone, you must register in the hot zone access log, in agreement with the area supervisor, at the control room. After leaving the hot zone, you must close the request by returning the key and filling in the required information in the logbook. Hot material zone safety training. Access to the cooking area is only permitted for people who have completed the specific training on risks related to hot material and gases. Specific PPE, Hot Zone Visitor. Before entering the cooking area, you must request access authorization at the central control room and wear the following specific PPE: fire retardant suit, flame-resistant hood, heat-resistant gloves, and sealed goggles. Specific PPE, Open Circuit Intervention. Before entering the cooking area, you must request access authorization at the central control room and wear the following specific PPE: high-temperature resistant coveralls, high-temperature resistant helmet, high-temperature resistant gloves, and high-temperature resistant shoes. Reminder of safety rules. It is strictly forbidden to touch metal surfaces in the area where hot materials and gases pass through. Wearing heat-resistant gloves is mandatory. To prevent any risk of explosion, it is strictly forbidden to pour water or use a water extinguisher to put out a fire caused by hot material. Emergency evacuation. This procedure aims to define the actions to take to evacuate people exposed to the risk of burns from splashes or contact with hot material or gas. All persons performing tasks at the preheating tower, the kiln, and the cooler are subject to this procedure. In case of unstable kiln conditions, trigger the evacuation alarm. All persons present in the firing area must then evacuate the tower, kiln, and cooler zones. Go to the assembly point located at the entrance of the plant. Finally, the supervisor checks the presence of all evacuated personnel. In case of evacuation, I go to the assembly point and avoid using the elevator when leaving the area. In case of burns, I call the first aiders listed in the area and use the emergency equipment available to me. Special burn first aid kit, shower, and portable or fixed rinsing station. You will now take a comprehension quiz on this training. If you pass, you will receive a certificate of completion by email. This will allow you to collect your training validation label from the plant safety department.